These rumors are freaking crazy. And I missed them because I haven't been uploading, but now I'm back. So the rumor, and I think Andy Signor over on Popcorn Planet broke the story first. Spider-Man, the third MCU Spider-Man film, is supposed to have the return of Andrew Garfield. This is the rumor. No confirmation yet from Marvel, as of this video recording. And Toby MacGuire from the Sam Raimi Spider-Verse. And they're supposed to be coming back because they're going to do a multiverse type of thing with Spider-Man 3. Not to mention, we know Jamie Foxx playing Electro will be in this movie. Now, when the Electro announcement first happened, to me that was, I didn't think it was going to be like the same Electro from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Verse. I thought it was going to be like just Jamie Foxx playing Electro again, which might be weird, but J. Jonah Jameson, J.K. Simmons played him in both, two different universes, so it's not that weird. I still think Jamie Foxx's Electro performance was strange, to say the least, from Amazing Spider-Man 2. But now the big talk is with the multiverse. Now, I talked about this over on the Den of Geeks live stream the other day, if y'all saw that. But my theory, and again, just a theory, my guess, based on everything we've gotten from Feige and from what's coming out, is that the Sam Raimi Doctor Strange film, because remember, it is Sam Raimi, who knows about Spider-Man, we know that. We know that the Sam Raimi Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, we know that it's going to have Wanda in it. We know that there's rumors of Loki being involved. We know there's rumors of, a lot of interdimensional beings being involved, multiverses and things of that nature. And we know that there are multiverses because of what Doctor Strange told Tony about, I went to the future X amount of times, or different possibilities. That tells us right off the hop there's multiverses. Now, interestingly enough, we get to this sort of like upcoming Phase 4 plan, right? We've got Loki, the TV show, or the Disney Plus show. He's going to be going through time to, wreak havoc on history with the Tesseract. That's what we heard from that show. Possibly creating more multiverses and more alternate timelines. Then we have the WandaVision show, which is supposed to also involve the past, time travel, multiverses. Then we find out she's in the Doctor Strange movie. Then we're seeing these things with the Spider-Verse and different Spider-Men coming together. First of all, seeing all three of those guys on screen together is going to be amazing. Look, I know Amazing Spider-Man is not the best Spider-Man film whatsoever, and I don't think Andrew Garfield is that great of a Peter Parker. I think he's a pretty good Spider-Man, not a great Peter Parker. I still think Toby's probably my favorite, even though Tom Holland, I don't know, man. Tom Holland's great. Tom Holland's amazing. It's tough. Toby might have the better movies, the better solo Spider-Man films, because I think Spider-Man 2 is still better than any of the solo Spider-Man films. Not better than Civil War or Avengers 3 and 4, but still a great film. Then again, you might actually say it is better than Avengers Infinity War. Maybe. See, that's tough, because I love Infinity War, but Spider-Man 2 is a classic, right? We agree with that. So, right? Seeing them on screen together could be great. That could be a great, great, great thing. Now, again, though, my theory. The multiverse has to be involved. I think that the first half of Phase 4, with the exception of the Eternals and with the exception of Black Widow, is probably going to be focused a lot on the multiverse and focused a lot on this sort of these alternate characters. Now, does this include the Sony-verse as well? Does it include maybe the newly purchased X-Men Fox universe? Are we going to see things like that? We know there's going to be mutants coming up in upcoming films. So it's one of those things where I think the multiverse is going to play a major, major role in Phase 4, at the very least with maybe the first half, right? At the very least with that. And then with that being said, the second half, like the whole multiverse thing could end up leading to the reveal of who the next villain's going to be for the second half of the multiverse, or for the second half of Phase 4. But again, Phase 4 is not set in stone because we have all of these postponements, and we have movies that are planned to come out, but because of the pandemic, we don't know when they're going to come out, and they may change things and add things. We found out that Oscar Isaac's going to be playing Moon Knight, so there's cool things coming out, but it's also a mystery, and that's okay. But the idea of seeing all these Spider-Men on screen together, I would love it if they snuck in Tom Hardy's Venom, even though I did not love that movie. I thought it was okay. It's the best looking Venom we've ever seen. I think the Venom from Spider-Man 3 is awful. Not even Topher Grace, just the suit looks terrible, and he's too small and he's not really Venom. Like the Venom from Venom was more Venom than Venom from Spider-Man 3, even though Venom should have had a villain run first. He should have had a villainous run first. So, you know, I'm okay with it. Like I'm excited. I wish we can get confirmation of this. And Sony, the only thing I'm worried about is Sony and Marvel have had a rocky kind of history. You know what I mean? Especially with what happened last year, how we pretty much almost lost Spider-Man on a cliffhanger, or the rumor that we're going to continue that in the Spider-Verse. And people don't want that. People want Tom Holland Spider-Man to remain in the MCU, to interact with other characters besides just Tony Stark. They want him to be in these other movies. And that's a fair request. You know what I mean? Because he's awesome. I mean, Civil War was great. He's always been fun in these movies. Even if you don't like the 2 Spider-Man movies that MCU put out, I happen to like them. He's great. He's a great actor. He's a great character. And he's a great Spider-Man. So people want him to interact in that universe. Taking him away angered the fans. And I know, I did videos on it, you know, and I got a lot of views in those videos because people were very, very angry. Now, with that being said, seeing these guys together on screen is awesome because I never thought we'd ever see Toby MacGuire play Spider-Man again, and now we're seeing it, and it's going to be a lot of nostalgia for people who love it. I just wonder if it's going to confuse some people with the Spider-Verse films. We are getting a sequel to that very soon, but it does make me wonder. But at the same time, I don't think people are that dumb. They should know it's 2 different things. But it's interesting how we have DC, who's doing Flashpoint and kind of integrating old Batman like Michael Keaton and Christian Bale's rumored. And then we have, we have that. Then we have old Spider-Man from previous films coming in for this Spider-Man movie. So to me, it's very interesting that we're sort of in that space. We're heading towards that direction. You know what I mean? I hope it happens. But like I said, my theory is that Loki, or possibly even the Snap, may have caused some kind of inter-multiversal rift, and that's going to end up cracking the fabric of time. Maybe that's a little too wacky, but you get where I'm coming from, right? Like cracking the fabric of time-space. Or Loki's going to go back and mess things up, and Strange and Wanda have to fix it, because when it comes to time stuff and, things like that, Strange is like the one Avenger or the one superhero in the MCU who can really, really kind of manipulate that. You know what I mean? He's the guy who has knowledge of it. Obviously, they're going to get the green crystal back, the stones. Well, actually, they might not, because they were destroyed by Thanos in the main timeline, so they might not get them back unless Strange goes through time or unless he finds another stone. So we'll see, because that's another story that's kind of unfinished yet. Like, have we really seen the end of the stones? You would think so, but remember, the Ancient One did say that the stones hold the fabric of the universe together, so perhaps we have not. I don't know, but I know that when it comes to time stuff, he's definitely the expert. Him and, of course, Stark, who's, he's dead, so he's not going to help out. So perhaps there will be a story there. Perhaps there's going to be a being that exists beyond the multiverse they have to face off against. We'll see. Ultimately, though, the idea of seeing the Spider-Man back together, or at least doing even one scene of them together doing cool Spider-Man stuff, would be freaking awesome. That's a big event. That's not quite Endgame level, but that is a big move. That movie will make $1 billion. I'm telling you right now. You put all 3 Spider-Man in that movie, that's a guaranteed $1 billion. I'm telling you. Especially if you release it post-pandemic, when people are going back in the theaters again, that is a guaranteed $1 billion movie. Let me know what you think. I'll talk to y'all very soon.